Same old, same old. I mean, more taxes, more spending, more borrowing. You know, and when you go to committee, there's the blame game. The Democrats say, oh, George Bush put us on this path. We have to do this to get out of the tough economic times. Republicans say, well, you've increased spending at unsustainable levels and, you know, our kids and our grandkids. Look, the bottom line is Americans instinctively understand, regardless of which side's right, Americans instinctively understand that you cannot continue to spend at this level. Parents and grandparents across this country understand that if we continue spending like this, running up the deficit, I mean, we're at deficit levels now, 10% of GDP. This year's deficit's $1.6 trillion. It's going to stay for the next 9 years. The average deficit level is close to $1 trillion. It goes down to $700 billion deficits, back up to $1 trillion. $1 trillion deficits we're running for the next decade. Americans instinctively understand you cannot do that to future generations, and that it's frankly, it's just immoral. It's wrong to do that. And so we got to get spending under control. We got to get our economy moving again, and you don't do that by continuing to spend like crazy and taxing, you know, the job creators, the small business owners across our economy. So that's why this is a bad document, and frankly a scary document. Well, I mean, look, it's you know, pick your analogy, but they spent and spent and spent. Now, okay, now we're actually going to start to control things. Well, no, that's not going to get the job done. You can't increase spending at the record pace they have. And this is like you know, someone told me, the person who walks into McDonald's who's already overweight and says, give me 5 Big Macs and 4 super-sized fries. But, oh, by the way, I'll take a Diet Coke in this one small area. I'm going to start to control things. That doesn't work. You have to reduce spending down. So one of the things we're advocating when we bring forth our budget, our balanced budget like we introduced last year, is to go back to the pre-bailout, pre-stimulus levels. That should be the baseline, not post-bailout, not post-stimulus, not post-extravagance that we've had in this extravagant spending. Go back to where a lot of families have had to go back to, a lot of small businesses have had to go back to. Go back to spending at some reduced level and hold the line there. That's how you begin to show some discipline and get this spending under control. We expect more. I mean, frankly, we got 111 votes. I'll just put it in political terms. We got 111 votes before the Tea Party phenomenon, before the August town hall recesses, before New Jersey, before Virginia, before Massachusetts, before they had this long fight on health care. We got 111 votes. We expect a lot more. We're going to bring back the same type of proposal. Ours doesn't increase taxes. In fact, keeps the 2001, 2003 tax cuts in place, reduces the capital gains tax rate, not raise it as the Obama budget does. Well, you can't get there if you don't, as I just said, you can't get to balance if you don't actually reduce spending. So we say start the baseline, as I said earlier, start the baseline, pre-bailout, pre-stimulus levels. Hold it there for the first year, then ratchet it down 1% a year. Go to the respective committees, the committees of jurisdiction, and say, go find a percent savings in the areas of the federal government you have jurisdiction over. Again, if you ask that question to the average American, they'd say, well, of course you can scale back 1% in discretionary spending in the federal government. So Americans, again, this is the point I think is so critical. The American people get it. All too often, the folks around this place, the folks here on Capitol Hill, they don't trust the American people. They think somehow they're not figuring this out. They figured it out a long time ago. They want us to have the discipline to do the right thing and get things in order here in Washington.